So, the fox, a couple paragraphs ago, actually, one paragraph ago, said, don't ransom anyone from the gallows. Don't pay for anyone's freedom from being hanged. So, and then what happens? A paragraph later, the brother, then he did not stay to think about the matter. He didn't think about it. He just paid what was asked. He paid the money, and his brothers were given up. So he ransomed somebody from the gallows. The fox said, don't ransom anyone from the gallows. He ransomed his two brothers from the gallows. Can you blame him? I don't know. It's his brothers. And as they came to the wood where the fox first met them, it was so cool and pleasant that the two brothers said, let us sit down by the side of the river and rest a while to eat and drink. So they showed up where they first found the fox, and the brothers are like, cool river, let's chill here. Again, you might remember the fox's second piece of advice about rivers and sitting next to the rivers, but fine. So the brother, he said yes, and forgot the fox's counsel, and sat down on the side of the river. And while he suspected nothing, they came behind and threw him down the bank, and took the princess, the horse, and the bird, and went home to the king their master, and said, all this we have won by our labor. So he sat down at this cool river. The brothers came up behind him. They walked up behind him and threw him down the bank. So they tossed him in the river. They threw him in the river, and they stole everything from him. And then went back to the king and said, check it out. Look at all this stuff we got. All this we have won by our labor. Our labor meaning work. Our work. All this we have won by our work. Then there was great rejoicing made. To rejoice, to party, to have fun. Joyce, I think from joy. So then there was great rejoicing made. They had a big party. But the horse would not eat. The bird would not sing. And the princess wept. The princess wept. To weep, to cry. The princess wept. The youngest son fell to the bottom of the river's bed. So basically fell into the river, down the river. Luckily, it was nearly dry, so no water in this river. But his bones were almost broken. And the bank was so steep, the side of the river, the bank was so steep, so we use steep normally with inclines. Like if you're walking up a hill, if it's really steep, the hill is like this. It's a very difficult walk. But if it's not steep, if it's shallow, is it shallow or gentle or gradual? Then it's like this, and it's easy to walk. But steep is like this. So the bank was so steep that he could find no way to get out. Again, style, he could find no way. He couldn't find any way to get out. Then the old fox came once more and scolded him for not following his advice. So the old fox came one more time, and scolded him. What's wrong with you? To scold. It's a word you imagine a teacher talking to a child. Why did you do this? Bad, scolded him. And scolded him for not following his advice. Otherwise, no evil would have befallen him. Otherwise, if you did follow my advice, otherwise, no evil would have befallen him. No evil would have hurt him, would have affected him. He would not have experienced evil. Again, to befall someone, an event befalling someone, happening to someone. It's old sounding. Yet, said he, I cannot leave you here, so lay hold of my tail and hold fast. Yet, said he, the fox, I cannot leave you here. So yet is kind of like, despite this, even though all this happened, yet I cannot leave you here. So lay hold of my tail. Today we might say hold on or grab my tail and hold fast. Hold tight, we would say today. Hold strongly, don't let go. Then he pulled him out of the river and said to him, as he got upon the bank. So the fox pulled him out of the river with his tail and said to him when they were on the bank, the side of the river, not down by the bottom, but up on the side, as he got upon the bank, your brothers have set watch to kill you if they find you in the kingdom. They have set watch to kill you. They have put someone there to kill you if he sees you, if they find you in the kingdom. So he dressed himself as a poor man and came secretly to the king's court. So the brother disguised himself as a poor guy, a guy with no money, secretly went to the king's court. The court is the place of the king and the people around the king, the princes, the whatever. The king's court, and was scarcely within the doors when the horse began to eat. Scarcely, barely. He was barely home. He barely walked in the door. Just as he walked in the door, the horse began to eat, and the bird to sing, and the princess left off weeping. So the horse began, as soon as he walked in the door, horse began to eat, bird began to sing, princess stopped, left off weeping, stopped crying. Then he went to the king and told him all his brother's roguery. Roguery. So a rogue is, again, like an old word for a thief, a killer, a person who will kill for money or something. And roguery is a great word. It's like doing things that a rogue would do. Like thief, somebody who steals things. Thievery is doing things that a thief would, the kind of things a thief would do. And roguery, doing the kind of things a rogue would do. So, he went to the king, told him everything about the bad things, and they were seized and punished. So seized, they were grabbed, they were taken, and punished. And he had the princess given to him again. He got the princess again. And after the king's death, he was heir to his kingdom. After the king's death, he was heir to his kingdom. Heir, the person who gets it. If you're heir to someone after they pass, after they die, you get their stuff. A long while after, he went to walk one day in the wood, and the old fox met him, and besought him with tears in his eyes to kill him, and cut off his head and feet. So, a long while after, a long period of time after these events, he was walking in the woods, he saw the fox, and the fox besought him with tears in his eyes to kill him. Besought him is like begged him, asked him a lot, please, please, with tears in his eyes, to kill him and cut off his head and feet. And at last he did so, and in a moment the fox was changed into a man, and turned out to be the brother of the princess, who had been lost a great many, many years. So interesting twist. So the fox said, please kill me, cut off head, cut off feet. The brother, the younger brother, now the king, did it. And the fox was changed into a man. He turned into a man. And this man was the brother of the princess who he got. And he had been missing. He had been gone. He was gone for a long, long time. And that is the end of the story. Last part of the story, last sentence. This brother shows up out of nowhere. The fox was the brother. And somehow, we don't know how the fox became the brother, I think. We don't know how the brother became the fox. And I'm not really sure how cutting off the head and feet of the fox made him back into the princess's brother. But, well, yeah, what an ending. A twist. A twist ending is like a surprise ending, something you didn't expect. So yeah, that's the end of The Golden Bird. A story about people who don't listen to talking animals. And I guess also a story about everyone kind of stealing stuff, because the younger brother stole everything. But I guess the horse and the bird and the princess liked him because they were unhappy when he was gone. So maybe the story says it's okay to steal if they like you, if the things you steal like you. But then the brother stole from him, and then he got revenge. So I don't know. Anyway, interesting story. Maybe in some ways, if the young brother had listened to the fox, he would have only gotten the first thing, the bird. But since he didn't listen, again and again and again, he ended up in a position where he could get everything. So, with fairy tales, you can often think about a moral. Like, what is the point? What do they want you to know at the end of the story? What is the feeling they want to give you, or the message, the idea they want you to have? And this is interesting because it's not, what's the moral? It's not don't steal. You can steal. It's not, it's I guess it's just listen to talking animals. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we're going to start the next story in Grimm's Fairy Tales after this, which is Hans in Luck. And please, if you've made it this far, nobody does, but if you have, like and subscribe. I think future stories, not Grimm's maybe, but other books and stuff will be on the Patreon. And also, I will take suggestions for stories or books to be read by me and illustrated by a good friend. So, thank you for watching, and hope to see you soon.